Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Iotx, and just before we do, we can peek at Bitcoin first, kind of see what's going on. It's kind of being a bug today. In other words, we had a pretty strong dump here earlier, down all the way to about 62,300. Now it's rallied back up. It touched about 65,000, and now it's kind of just trending closer to 64. So if all goes well, we can get the price to kind of equal itself out between 63 and 64 and see how it fits over the weekend, right? Because again, the weekends are typically better than the weekdays for slow increase to the upside. So we'll see what happens there. That being said, let's go and take a look here at Iotx. Oh, and just before we do, if you are new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I just love teaching people how to become better traders. Been trading for over 15 years myself. I have a very large actually trading community that's growing rapidly, and we're going to probably cap it out around 200 members. So check that out in your own time, of course. But that is something I think that you may benefit from if you just need a leg up. I share signals with every single member, of course. I basically share my trades with my community members by sending out signals so you can see what I'm doing and kind of get in the know, right? So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the 1-day chart. Work our way down as per usual. So Iotx has been making large pumps followed by significant retracements. But for the most part, Fibonacci retracement lines has been kind of working itself into this major support and resistance channels. I mean, you can see here, price came all the way down here to about 10 cents, and then shot up a day later to 25 cents. Came all the way down effectively here today, right around 15.7. But that's another Fibonacci retracement line, right? So it's kind of honoring and holding true to that. We got the 1-day candlestick here closing at about 23 cents. So it's pretty safe to presume that this is going to keep staying within these lines. So we're going to try to find out what that looks like, of course, but it does look like it's back on the rise here today, which is fantastic. So looking at the moving averages, they're not really relevant at this point. Those don't matter too much. RSI is back up over 70. Looks like it's basically trying to hold right at 70. And that's basically this line here, right? So if you see 18.2 cents, that's essentially the same line as 70 on the RSI, right? A lot of times strong support levels on the chart is reflectant of the RSI at a specific level. Specifically 70, I've noticed, seems to be a pretty strong support and resistance. So if that being over 70 right now, it's a very, very good sign. Moving on to the 4-hour chart, we can kind of see here, obviously, that the 50-day simple moving average is working as a pretty strong support. So as soon as the price intersects with the 50, the price tends to just jump right back up. So that's a really cool sign there to see that kind of hype up there. It basically just means that we have a strong support level here at about 13.4 cents if the price were to consider retracing that far down. At least right now, it's moving up with the price. Obviously, the support level will be increasing as the days progress. So all good things there too on the 4-hour chart. MACD convergence is potential. We can see that kind of a swing in the upward. There's a good chance we might actually see higher highs and higher lows soon on the 4-hour chart. But for now, we're basically seeing that, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, and higher low. So it's really important for the price to kind of break above this resistance channel right around 25 to 26 cents in order for us to have that continuation to the upside with that strong momentum. It's definitely on target for that, but if the price gets stopped out at just say one of these two resistance levels, it might be a different story. It might start working itself into a wedge pattern, which is still very helpful, but we'll have to reevaluate that and look at that later, right? For now, it's definitely on the right track, though. I do like what I see here so far for Iotx. There's pretty much all bullish qualities. There's no bearish qualities I see at all so far for this, which is excellent, right? We like to see that. Basically, just means we should have a continuation of the upside. Now, speaking of continuation, let's take a look at TD sequential, see how much longer we have left. Because this is how it works, right? TD sequential, when you count from 1 to a 9, it basically tells you that once you're at a 9, you're in a state of exhaustion and you can expect a consolidation or retracement. If it keeps going past that point, there's a likelihood, of course, that much greater with every candlestick that the price will eventually retrace, not even consolidate, right? In other words, if you look back here, you can see it went from 1 to a 9. We had one extra candlestick and then it came down, consolidated right next to support, and then continued on its way back up. We see another 9 here, right at the resistance level. Came down to the next secondary support, and then back up to a 3, and we've gotten a bunch of resets ever since then, after a 9, of course, when it had to come back down and retrace. That being said, with us being at a 4 right now, hypothetically, we have 5 more hours of bullish momentum that could continue to the upside, closer to about 23, maybe even 24 cents, and then we may see either a consolidation at support or resistance, which I'm guessing, I'm pretty certain that we're going to see the price kind of come up here and kind of trend through here and then try to make another leg up after that. That seems like it's what it's planning to do. Again, based on its history, if you see this here, it ramps up, comes down, kind of works itself into a channel, same thing again and then up again. All right, so hypothetically, we could see that. Could do one of these. It could even do, one of these where it goes all the way up and then bounces down here. But the key takeaway here is that we're making higher highs and higher lows in the 4-hour chart. That's fantastic. But we want to see some higher highs and higher lows in the 1-hour chart too. Right now, it's fairly straightforward. We just got a straight line, and that's not really telling us much. So in the passing days here, we'll be able to see that kind of come to fruition. But I would venture to guess, though, that we're in pretty good shape here. As long as the next low isn't lower than 15.5 cents, we're going to be able to see a continuation of the upside. So hypothetically, the price comes down here. If it doesn't go any lower than this line right here and just keeps going up, then we're in really good shape. Okay, because that wouldn't break the higher highs and higher lows trend. So hopefully that makes sense there. And then, of course, with the cloud, this is even extra special, right? We're back above the cloud here on the 1-hour chart, which is extremely important because being below the cloud works as a resistance level. When it's above, it's considered a support. Keep this in mind. This is a little premature. We are not officially above the cloud yet. The candlestick hasn't closed. This could very well be a very large wick and get pushed down by that, but we'll see here soon, obviously, what happens. The fact that we have roughly just say 5 hours left of bullish momentum here, potential, that tells me that we may not see this get rejected, but I would say we need to wait a little while for the 1-hour candlestick to close here to know for sure. But generally speaking, price above the cloud is considered a buy signal. Below it, it's considered a sell signal. So this could very well be a good entry point. Take a quick little entry, jump on up there about 15%, and call it a day. All right, and go ahead and sell your position, trim a little bit, wait for it to come back down and bounce after it's kind of cooled down a little bit and reset its TD sequential. Right. So there's just little things that you can kind of do. You can kind of rinse and repeat that sometimes, but keep in mind Iotx is very susceptible to. I don't want to use term manipulation, but there's some things kind of causing the price to ramp up, right? There's special events, there's things that you don't see on the charts, of course. And again, with this just being a technical analysis, we don't see that. If I was investing in Iotx myself personally, I would know that. It's important to make sure you look at all the fundamentals yourself before you do obviously invest in any coins. But that being said, technical charts here basically telling us there's significant bullish momentum. There's a strong chance we will continue to the upside, and we're hoping to get a higher high and continue those higher highs and higher lows pattern. That would be awesome. But all in all, I see some really good things here from Iotx. And better case scenario here, just say we were to break that, break that resistance level here, roughly right around about 26 cents. There's a strong chance, I would say, by end of the week or perhaps even next week, definitely month end, we'll see somewhere around 34 cents. But just keep this in mind though, when Iotx comes up, it does come down fairly hard. So if it were to come up again, just be ready for the retracement, the pullback eventually. It seems to be a pretty common characteristic here. So again, be careful, be wise, be smart, and to all of my patrons, obviously make sure you have multiple profit targets in place, adjust your stop targets accordingly to ensure that they're matching your moving target, right? You want to have moving trailing stop loss if possible. Either way, I hope you find benefit. Thank you so much again for joining me here. If you're not currently a patron, please consider checking that out. I think you'd find great benefit, of course. I have a descriptive video somewhere around here, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. So thanks again. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.